Hi there, it's Mr. Rups here. We are doing our mixed quadratic factoring, or quadratic solving, mixed quad solving. Now, you should not just watch this video, but stop it and try these problems first. Stop this video, try them. I think most of them you'll be able to do without it, but if you're not sure, you can check with me. Okay, now that you're back, first one here, we're going to solve by factoring. So by factoring, in order to make it factoring, first step is make one side equal to 0. So I subtract the 2x, subtract the 3, equal to 0. A is 1, so I ask the magic question, what two values multiply to get negative 3 and add to get negative 2? Well, 3 and 1 are the only two numbers that multiply to get 3, and it'll be negative 3 and a positive 1 to get negative 2. And so x plus 1 is 0. Or x minus 3 is 0 by the null factor law. And so x is 3 or x is minus 1 are my solutions. Now, I want to use Desmos and also polysimultaneous. So using Desmos, I'm going to throw this equation in. Desmos says y equals x to the power 2 and y equals 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. I can quickly see here is 1 point, here's another point, negative 1 and 3. And so here is my second solution. Oh. And then fine, so make my graph. I could see this. I label it y is equal to x squared. I make this line, this is y is equal to 2x plus 3. I get x equals minus 1 and x equals 3. And finally, polysimultaneous. In order to use polysimultaneous, I have to have it in this form here where it equals 0. So I'll call my calculator up. I'll move it over, I can see it. And so if I go apps, polysimultaneous, number, enter, my polyroot finder. My order is 2 because the exponent's 2. And then I type in the equation 1, negative 2, negative 3, enter, and solve. And again, I can see that the solution is 3 and negative 1. They all get the same 1. Okay, so the next problem, number 2, I have to solve this with no GDC. And if I think about my options, I could factor, I could quadratic formula, but this is written in vertex form. So I'm going to PEMDAS backwards this. So in order to do it, I'm going to square root both sides. X minus 3 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 9. I do this and I get 3. And so x equals positive 3 plus or minus 3. Well, that's 3 plus 3, which is 6, or 3 minus 3, which is 0. My two solutions are x is equal to 6, x is equal to 0. Okay, quite straightforward. Recognizing it is PEMDAS backwards is a good way. Next one, finally going to solve this one using no GDC. Okay, so because I have no GDC, my biggest problem here is that this is not 0, and so I have to always expand this out. I could graph it if I was allowed to, but I'm not allowed to. So multiply it out, expanding the brackets to get x times x, x plus 3, 2 and x, and then 2 times 3 equals 2. So x squared plus 5x, and I'm going to subtract the 2. If I subtract the 2, I get plus 4 is 0. And then from here, what can I do? Well, A is 1, so I'm going to ask myself the magic question, which says, it looks like this. What two numbers multiply to get 4, add to get 5? Well, that's going to be 1 and 4. Both are positive. Use the null factor law. This number could be 0 because it's multiplied, or this number could be 0. So x is negative 1 or x is negative 4 are my solutions. And so I have no choice but to multiply it out and collect like terms.